Good morning, everybody. I'm GM of Revan, and welcome to the stream. I hope everyone is fine this lovely Saturday morning. Let me just make sure you see my face. Hi, here's my face. So today I am playtesting something that's I'm kind of nervous to playtest, only because it's not fully baked. Like most of my projects, I'm not always great with keeping things organized, but I am gonna do my best today. So allow me to introduce a solo TTRPG that I have made. It's the purpose of it is to just, if you are bored or if you want to play but don't know what to play, and or you haven't played a tabletop RPG in a very long time, um, and you don't want to really socialize. Hi, introvert here to the max. But not quite. I'm kind of a social introvert, so maybe I'm more of an extrovert than I realize. I don't know. Um, Personalities are weird like that. What I'm doing with this particular TTRPG is basically allowing people to create um, essentially a world um, that they can play in, either to that's a little bit too crazy. We need something a little bit here. We need something a little bit more calm. Hmm. Maybe this one. Yeah, there we go. So, the way this particular game works is it's just a way to not only world build, like do some light world building, but also to generate simple characters and then run the game like you're basically telling a story for yourself. Um, it might become a journaling activity more so than anything like that in the future. We'll see. There's a lot of little quirks with this particular system that I'm still I'm still working through, finding out little bits and pieces here that'll make it feel nice. In terms of a tactical combat map, it isn't it's not a tactical combat map, but it can be. I have put in the rules that people are able to basically take what I've made and eventually just homebrew stuff that they like. So, for the purposes of getting started, I'll run you guys over on how this tabletop RPG is supposed to work. I've got the rules kind that I've cobbled together here. Um, Basically, this particular tabletop RPG is inspired by games like Ironsworn, Heart, The City Beneath, with the dice pool system and light combat. It's more so for exploration and also world building. It is a tabletop that also goes into a little bit of character development as well, and storytelling and writing, because something about Artaelia's main thing is we are here to tell stories, build worlds, tell tell tales, and share those experiences with the world. Really, that's the motto. To get started, you need a piece of graph paper. I don't have graph paper um, right now in front of me, but I do have my owl bear that I've set up here for you all to see. This is the map that I've set up. Um, you're gonna need a journal or some form of writing implement. I've got my obsidian up. I also have a little notepad, those notepad text things, that is up. If you don't have one of those, but you have your phone, um, open up like a little keep note or something like that. You just to write notes and to kind of keep things and organize in that way. Just something to write in for notes, some stats, different scenarios you're going to be building up, that kind of thing. You'll need a pen or pencil, or if you have your phone, just your phone. Just writing implement, and dice. If you don't have dice, stuff like Owlbear, they've got a nice, awesome dice roller that I can pull up here for you. Ooh. I do have a dice roller. Usually there's a dice roller on here, but apparently I have to... There we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. There's our dice roller. Jeez, that scared me for half a minute. Yeah, so some dice, because you'll be rolling some dice along the way, and yeah, that's pretty much what you'll need for this particular setup. Um, it's whatever makes sense to you. The first thing you need to do for the setup of this game is to very easily take a piece of graph paper and divide it either longwise, portrait, or horizontal, landscape, to create basically a map. You need to split it so that it's 12 by 20 or 20 by 12 if you're going by landscape. Because we have such a small little thing here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just figure out my 12 by 20. So right now that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 by 12. If I wanted to go this way, and that'll fit where our screen is. And then if that's 12, we'll just go down a little bit more. I might have to zoom out so then the map actually fits. There we go. We have a little bit more working room, essentially, to work with. Working room. Ha 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 ha. Working room. Get it? No, just me. Just me. Okay. So we're gonna actually draw on this map. Ooh, you're back. Excuse me. Please get back. There we go. We are going to basically draw a rectangle, and we're gonna outline it, 12 by 30. We'll do something a little bit brighter. We'll use Artaelian colors. Yellow. We'll use a yellow. So 2, 3, 4. Hold on. I'm getting blind. So we want to do 12 by 20, I think. I'm going to go with portrait for my map. So first let me just measure this out for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's 12. So within 60 feet. Okay. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So I think I need to go 100 feet down. Okay. Math. Basic math. If you're running like 6 by 5, right? Right? Am I mathing correctly? What's my feetage? I don't know. I don't know how to math. That's why I'm going to pull up a calculator. I should know this, but I'm also very tired this morning. So 60, and then it should be 20 by 5, 200, 100. Whoops. We'll just move on with with myself. So 20 squares down. Oh, this is the morning that I am having. I was playing this game called Safe Zone, so it just, go figure. And then we need to go 100 feet down. So okay. I am 60 feet across, and then rough. Okay, technical execution issues here, because I don't know how to math. I mean, I could just like use this like that, right? Like I could shortcut stuff. Like, it's a perfectly fine square, but I need a big size so that I can fit 100. Goodness gracious me on a dough stick. Okay, let's measure at 100 feet. That's 100 feet. Okay. One. 1 9. Should be easy, right? I can't see my lines. Just do that for now, and then I'll just do the square over top of it in a second. Goodness gracious me. Okay, so that is 60. Going down. Oh. There. Haha! I don't know what I win, but I win. And then we're just going to take this line and we're going to delete it because we don't need it. 12 by 20 is nice because it's just a small region. Obviously, you can make more regions as you go along. But essentially what you want to do is just create the regions that you need to create. The next thing we have to do is we're going to set it up so that it says A to A12 and B20. So the next portion, if you will, of the hello, I want to type. Oh, why do you keep doing that? Why do I keep pressing that? There we go. I don't want more. I don't want more. I want my text. Why can't I? Can I write? Hello? Should be able to. There it is. Okay. Whew, I thought I lost it there. Okay. So we're just gonna zoom in. Make it big size so we can see what we're actually typing. So all you have to do is now label. So if we know that's A1, right? And then A2. I think I have to be A3, A1, A2, A3. And it's going to be a little bit tedious, but I mean, so that's where it went down to. I'm like, what the heck? So I like this style of writing. I don't care what anybody else says. It's graphically very pretty, and I can move things around as I need to. See, like that. If I want it centered, I can. Alright, this is gonna take me a minute. Why did I make such a game? I don't know. No, I don't want the extensions. No one needs to know the extensions. Jeez. Get with the program. Okay, A5. We're gonna be at this for a bit. So that's A1 to A5. Yeah. So I don't think anyone is watching this because it's on YouTube, and usually I'm on. Where am I usually? I'm usually on Twitch. I'm hardly ever on YouTube. So this is an exclusive stream live on YouTube. Yeah, no one's watching. That's cool. I wish I could just do it so I can also stream to Twitch. Because it's streaming on YouTube, that's one thing. But I don't know. I don't know if I can actually also add Twitch to it. Because that's where I also stream as well. Can I add? Well, I'll figure it out later. not important right now. This is gonna get recorded, and yeah, at least I'm doing something with my YouTube. That is something. Okay, so we'll do a 9, a 10, and we'll do a 11, a 11, and then the last one should be a 12. Sweet. Yeah. And then we're gonna lock that into place, and we're gonna do the same thing now for our horizontal line. Whoops. Alright, let's see what the text value is here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want it to fit the space. And what size were you? 12, okay. So this one should also be 12, but we just made bigger. Okay, that's fine. I can manage with that. Someone is messaging me, I think. Nope, no one's messaging me. That's just a little alarm saying, hey. So this one's gonna be tricky. It's not gonna be as flawless. Okay, well, what we'll do then is just not worry about it too much. We just need to keep adding until we get to 20. So C, V, go away. Okay, so dismiss. Control C. V, allow. Do, 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 do. This is gonna take me a little bit. And that's fine. B8. Okay. And that's the last one, and now we just need to label. And it's not perfect, but that's okay. It's much easier when you actually handwrite it. This is one of those games that it's nice to just handwrite it, especially if you're old school. Not saying anything, but yes, I'm pretty old school. Just give me a pen and paper and I'll figure it out. Or if you have like a tablet or something, this could be easy. Essentially, you're just generating the map of the region you're going to be exploring. But there will be more on this in a minute. because we will be using it to the fullest extent of what we need to use it for. We'll be also creating little notes about the world, etc., and along the way, and just essentially generating our own little world build, which is nice, especially if you are someone who likes to express themselves through world building, like myself. you, you like the art and practice of just using your mind to come up with something cool, crazy, and fun to do, and you like to go from there. All right, cool. So this is our little regional map. Check this out. See, A1, B2, B20, perfect. The next step of this process is we're going to be doing some truths about the world. So we're going to be generating like when the apocalypse happened, what caused it, how much of the world was affected by the apocalypse, and what changed about the world itself. We're going to describe 3 things we know about our immediate world before the apocalypse happened and why these things are important to the fiction of our world. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little yellow note, little sticky. I love that about Owlbear is you can just create little stickies there, and we will make this our truth. All of the yellow stuff, it's our world stuff. Like these are our truth stickies. They're not gonna lie perfectly on the page, but that's okay. We don't need to do that right away. But what we will do is we will click that and we'll start working on it. So we're gonna give this a heading. Truths about our world. About our world. We'll actually make this less imposing. Actually, we'll just do that. 18, and we'll just make that as that. And then, so, when did the apocalypse begin? I like the idea of rolling for dice for these kinds of things, but because we're generating or creating a world, I have put together basically some D100 Oracle charts or random tables to kind of explain or help generate essentially, to help generate like ideas. So there's settlements and environments. You've got some strange, unique names, some plot twists, some random encounters. Some environment features, etc. If you've ever played the game Ironsworn, highly recommend using those oracles as well, because that can be cool to use as well. All right, so I think when it comes to this particular world, the apocalypse, because I've been playing this game called Infection Free Zone, and it's a zombie game, and it kind of has everything that I want with it. A couple things I would want to change about it. So this is kind of me like generating that aspect. So we'll use that as the basis. So the infected, it's a world that has been infected by some sort of outbreak or cursed disease. And I like the idea that the apocalypse began not too long ago, like within a year. Now, when you think about infection and disease and things like that, obviously everyone automatically remembers the years 2019 to 2021, particularly the year 2020. So I think if it's a cursed outbreak, our world is going to be set in a magical place. Um, our apocalypse began about a year ago. We don't know. Apocalypse began a year ago. There were signs of a cursed outbreak. That's what caused it, right? And we'll actually, I'm gonna give myself some space to write on this little note, and we can zoom in and out with Albert as we need to, so that we can kind of look at our notes, and that's usually helpful. Okay, there were signs of a cursed outbreak, so the apocalypse began due to some necromantic spell or ritual. Wow. Okay. So we know that that's one truth. How much of your world did the apocalypse affect? We're not sure. We're not too sure. I want to discover it. So we're not too sure what changed about our world. Our world, or how much of it is affected. What I'd like, we went underground to survive with whatever necessities we could have, with different people in a community we could find. Not all of us have our loved ones. Not all of us have our loved ones. Okay. Describe 3 things we know about our immediate world before the apocalypse and why these things are important. So I have it in my head, and I've been thinking about this when I knew that I was going to do this stream, was I wanted to think, because I've been talking a lot about about this kind of world with my boyfriend as well. I like the idea that you get isekai into a necromancer's world. And part of the reason why you're isekai there is because you're going to be used as a sacrifice for whatever ritual he needs. And he has decided that he needed as many souls as he possibly can, and had tapped into some dark magics that can pull different settlements into his world. So that he has more souls that he can sacrifice. And this happens all the time. Sometimes there's survivors from other planets and planes of existences that are now in this weird shadow demi-plane of existence. So I think what I'd like to know, 3 things about our immediate world is that we understand is there's very little sun. There are pockets of sunshine. I've got a little pocket of sunshine. Okay. There are the 3 things we know about our immediate world before the apocalypse happened. There was an earthquake. Something never seen before, because our village was landlocked. Our settlement was landlocked because our settlement was landlocked. Very difficult to get an earthquake in the middle of like the land. Usually you get earthquakes closer to depending on where you are. Like, it depends on where you're located. I mean, there are multiple places that get earthquakes around the world, but usually you get earthquakes closer to if you're located near the Ring of Fire, where there's a lot of tectonic plate shifting. Or if you have landslides that just kind of come down. Let's just say that there was an earthquake, something we've never seen before. There was an earthquake, a thunderous roar, and the screams. These are the 3 things we know about our immediate world. There was an earthquake, a thunderous roar, and the screams of hurting people. that will live with you forever. You like these are the three things that we know about. Okay, these are the truths about our world. The apocalypse happened a year ago. There were signs of a cursed outbreak. So the apocalypse began due to some necromantic spell or ritual. We're not too sure what changed about our world or how much of it is affected. We went underground to survive with whatever necessities we could with different people in a community we could find. Not all of us have our loved ones. Was an earthquake and thunderous and a thunderous roar and screams of hurting people. This is what we know immediately about our world. Okay, now we're going to generate a simple legend. Um, Once you've set up truths about your world, generate a legend of things that your survivors will want. Um, because we will be generating the resources our survivors are going to be looking for. And um, we'll do it that way. And so, because I feel like this is a cursed outbreak, I think the fiction of this world, we're just going to go a little bit deeper about it. The fiction of this world, I think our people are modern day people that have been zapped into this necromancer's place, right? So, our survivors don't know they've been pulled into a different dimension. Ooh. What big size into oh, you know why? Because I have it. Excuse, I don't want it full screen. Thanks. They Our survivors don't know they have been pulled into a whole other dimension. They don't know. Like, they have no clue. Um, that is gonna be craziness. So those are the truths about our world. The next part we need to do is we're going to generate a legend. So I think we should choose a color that best reflects resources or resource gathering. And I think we're going to use green. Like the color green for this. Green denotes resources. Ooh. Okay. Is that about the same size? Maybe. There we go. Alright. So, some of the stuff that our people are going to be looking for on this legend. If they are a modern society now trapped into a fantasy world that they don't know about, which will be a rude wake-up call when they figure it out, is oh, I'm loving this already. Let's see here. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky, isn't it? It's gonna be this is gonna be super tricky. Super tricky. Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is we're going to generate our simple legend. So I guess this would be resources. Legend of resources. Because these are things our people are going to want to find. And I think I like the idea of it being a number table so that if we wanted to, we could roll on a dice table for it. So the first thing I think they would want is knowledge. Second thing I think they would want would be food. They need to know how to find food, some rations, those kinds of things would be very important in a time of an apocalyptic event, don't you think? So knowledge, food. I think they would want some medical supplies, some tools, water will be a big thing, shelter, maybe some gear, like outerwear gear, like general adventurer's gear. No, I don't want general stuff. Ooh, why does it keep doing that? Okay, I keep pressing F11, that's why. We'll make it a D12 table. I like having it so that we can roll out a thing. So what are the resources they could have? Buildings. So shelter is good. Other survivors. Other survivors. Knowledge, food, medical supplies, tools, weapons. You know what? Instead of other survivors, shelter, knowledge, food, shelter. We'll go with armor. So knowledge, food, medical supplies, tools, water, shelter, armor, weapons. What else? What else is there? Useful gear. Well, I'll have to make a list of useful gear. Loot. Useful gear. What else? Ooh, electricity. Energy kind of thing. Energy. What else would they want? Knowledge, food, medical. Oh, transportation. Transportation is important. I would say another resource would be other survivors, but for now, let's just say that these are the legend of resources, and then afterwards, we will mark things like, oh, we find XYZ, because we'll be rolling on an oracle table regarding the environment and those kinds of things. Anyway, so maybe building materials, useful gear, and equipment. There we go. Cool. So these are our legend of resources. That is the basic setup. So we have truths about the world and resources that our people are going to be going out into this world to find. The next part is, because we have a bunch of people who have survived post-apocalypse, we are going to be thinking about the population that is part of this world. One of the things we're going to do is generate a captain. So we're going to generate a leader for our troop of survivors. We'll keep going with the yellow because I like the yellow. Yellow is for truths. Green is for the random tables, like a legend of stuff. And so we're going to generate our captain. And then we're going to generate our crowd of people. Afterwards, our crowd of survivors. Okay. 37 fits it just fine. We'll just keep it to the 35. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to describe the leader of our group of survivors and who they were, what they look like, who is the captain of this group. And really, we shouldn't get too attached to this captain just because they might, But what we'll do is we'll make them a specialization. I feel like we need to be able to give them something that helps. So first things first, our captain needs a name. They need some ideas, like we need to know what they look like, what their specializations are, a little bit about them before the apocalypse, and all that kind of jazz. So I like to start off with names because names kind of give me a sense of right away we kind of have an idea who that person is based on their name. So I'm gonna take out some d10s and my percentile dice. So we're gonna roll on a d100 chart I've got off to the side with some common names, and I think I'll add that into the module once I've figured out all of the rules. But we're gonna roll on this module, and I rolled a 43. So within that number, we have the names Eleanor, Ethan, Isabella, Owen, Olivia, Samuel, Sarah, William, and Benjamin, Emily. So we're going to roll a d10 and see which one of those names will come up for our leader. So our leader's name is Isabella. So our captain's name is Isabella. I like the name Isabella Montez. Is that High School Musical though? Now I'm curious. Hold on. Excuse me. My brain is fidgeting. Hold on. Is Isabella Montez High School Musical? I think so. Montez? Oh, she's also an actress. Not now. Please. High School Musical characters. Oh, Gabriella. She's Gabriella. We're going with Isabella. Isabella is our captain. So our captain is Isabella. Woo, that's fun. So our captain's name is Isabella Montez. Appearance. I think she's Latina. She's tall. She's a tall Latina woman. Yeah, she's kind of Amazonian. I would follow that. Okay, so she's a tall Latina woman. That's all we know. So she's got dark hair. She's physically attractive. I don't know. Long, dark. We have Catherine Zeta-Jones. Okay, long. I don't know if she's Latina. Oh well, we'll figure that out. We just know she's got long dark hair, often in a ponytail. Tall, probably pushing 6 feet, because I like a tall lady. Very athletic and very smart. Let's just put it that way. She's very smart. Before pre-apocalypse, I think she was project manager for a construction site. She was a project manager for a construction site. And she was an interior, she was an interior designer and project manager for a construction site when the apocalypse began, before she had to work from home. How did they become captain? How? I guess she was on. She became. Nah, you know what? She became captain when she realized, when she began getting people she knew to house themselves at her home. She didn't have much at her home. That's how we know. She decided to gather her community together before things got worse. She gathered her community together before things really got bad. Known survivors. You know what? We'll figure that out. But she has people to find. So because she's gathered her family members together, I think she has like a couple of siblings that are still missing. Of her siblings went missing after post-APOC. Missing 6 months into the apocalypse. They were in close contact, but then they went missing. Cool. That is our captain. And then we're going to give her some specializations. Oh, this is so much fun. I don't know about you guys, but this is what I consider fun. Um, Obviously, fun is subjective, but for all intents and purposes, this is my kind of fun. Okay, so lock that in place. We'll do that, and then we'll just put up another note. Because our captain is going to have skills and abilities and specializations that make them really cool. So, Isabella is an interior designer and a construction site project manager. So, she knows her way around tools and farms and things like that. So, we're going to give her some specializations. Now, the way specializations work is that they either give a bonus or they they will impose some sort of stuff. I don't have specifically the rules for how that's going to work, but for now, I like the idea that as we build this captain, there are some specializations that these characters can use to accomplish a goal. And the main goal is obviously to create a safe zone within a place that is obviously an apocalyptical nightmare. First things first, Isabella is going to be a survivor because they are indeed a survivor. So Isabella, character character specializations, captain specializations. There we go. Okay. So first thing we know about Isabella is they are a, they are a survivor. So as a survivor, you gain 2 + 2 to your bonus checks that require climbing, hunger, management, um, or looking for food, basically, to and more. And you can use this bonus at any time, just at any check. It's like a standard check. So they are definitely a survivor, and they do specialize in that because they have their own little community already. Because she's an engineer, I think an interior designer, I think she has some sort of an engineering background. So we'll just give them that. So you gain a +2 bonus whenever you decide to use, build, craft, or fix or upgrade an item. You can also use this bonus when investigating old ruins or looking for useful tools, which I think would be good. Um, she's not necessarily a farmer, she's an interior designer, so she has that artistic expression. So she can kind of see possibility. So, as an interior designer, I would say that her other specialization would be um, shelters. She knows about sheltering. So, shelters. Um, Isabella has a. What could they gain with the shelters? You gain a +2 bonus. So, all bonuses are always but +2. And your captain can have up to 5 specializations. We'll go into that as we build the community as well, and the reason why the captain has these things. As I fill this out in a moment, you gain a +2 bonus to checks that require to checks whenever that's poor English. To checks whenever you decide to checks whenever you investigate a location to see if it is suitable shelter. And then I think Oh, that's the outdoorsman. Ah, that's what I did. Okay, it's not necessarily an. She's an outdoors woman because she's finding out what can do what will be useful. Um, I think those are her three specializations for now. You can always add more specializations as you go along with this particular system. Um, I, I'm trying to make it so that it's more ease of use rather than, full mechanical whatever. We'll go into a little bit more into that, I think, as we continue. So essentially, specializations are useful skills or abilities that work in tandem with your captain's personal story. So they obviously studied to become an interior designer, and they are now a construction site worker. So in a way, they are an outdoorsman, an engineer, and a survivor. Um, I like that. Um, Specialization. I think because she's super smart, I think she's innovative. That's what that's what I know. She is. She's innovative. That's the one key thing aspect about her is she's innovative. I like that. Okay, innovative. Gain a +2 bonus to checks whenever you come across an item or building. Item, shelter, or building materials. Item, whenever you come across an item or shelter and repurpose the uses of those. Repurpose. You gain a +2 bonus. You gain a +2 bonus to checks whenever you come across an item or shelter that you decide to repurpose or design or redesign to create forms of functionality. To create I think that works, and she still gets her outdoorsman bonus because she specializes in shelters. She's an interior designer, so of course she would know about shelters. And we'll have to probably change the size of the font so we can squeeze everything there. Cool. So Isabella, our captain, has four major specializations. She's a survivor, which is a general specialization for everyone because surviving takes time. She's innovative. She's an engineer. She's an outdoorsman. That's great. Those are her major specializations. Now on to the community. Um, the cool thing about this game that I want to kind of express or to others is that you can basically homebrew certain aspects of this game because once you figured out the truths about your world, then the game is yours. Um, the control to create is in your hands. Okay, so now we're going to generate our group of survivors because a captain without a group to lead is really just another lone survivor. So you can decide how many people are in your captain's group when you generate your captain, or you can roll at random using the following table below. So we know that based on her backstory, she became captain when she began getting people she knew to house themselves at her home. She gathered community together before things got really bad. So the way I'm going to do this is we're going to roll a d12 to generate the number of adults she was able to get into her abode. those out of the way. She was only able to get 4 adults. Okay, so we're gonna write that down somewhere. I'm gonna take this post-it and write that down actually. So she was able to get 4 adults. And with those 4 adults, there might be teenagers. Let's see. 3. There's 3 teenagers. Now you can roll you can decide to have more adults than kids by rolling another d12 if you wanted. You can roll more with teenagers as well. But for the case of this one, we're going to roll a d6 to generate how many kids are in her house right now. There's 2 kids, so there's 4 adults, 2 teens, 2 kids. And let's generate, there is an option. This is an option though, to generate a number of pets. You can also utilize this last one to see how many skilled people you have in your group. Let's do some skilled people. Yeah, let's do some skilled people. We're not going to do pets because I don't want to think about pets in the time of apocalypse because that's a whole other kettle of fish. Ooh, out of the 4 adults, there are 3 who have specializations. Cool. They are skilled. So if they're skilled, they don't have to have the same specialization as Isabella. They can have different specializations. I think these are people that she knows and people that she cares about, that she's like, hey, come in, let's do stuff. So the specializations that I have right now, there's a medic, mechanic, outdoorsman, soldier, engineer, farmer, and obviously survivors for everybody. So with these 3 people, I'm going to roll 3 times to see what their skills are. 5. So we have somebody who's a mechanic. So one of the adults is a mechanic. We have an adult mechanic. We have another engineer. So that's great. Engineer. Actually, and we have another outdoorsman. So we have a mechanic, outdoorsman, and an engineer. So I feel like the fiction about the people that she's housed, these are people she was able to kind of be like, hey, you should come over to my place ASAP, bring your family or whoever you want with you. And I think because of the way things are, we know that the group that she leads, group of survive. You know what? We'll just make this yellow. Yeah, because this is still kind of within the character building stuff. Sorry for my jumping around all the time. Until I have like actual template that I can build and put onto this into Albert. This is how we're gonna do it. At least for now. Although there is something called an outliner, like there's different mods that I can do. There's a dashboard, there's a dummy sheet as well we can use to generate like a language custom character sheet. Okay, so our group of survivors led by Isabella. The group is composed of 4 adults, 3 of which are skilled. 3 of whom are skilled. We'll just put that in. 3 of whom are skilled. 3 teens and 2 kids. So 4, 7, and 2. That should be 9. So she's got a small community of 9 plus her. That's 10 within her small community of people. She's got a couple of siblings that went missing 6 months ago into the apocalypse. I feel like Isabella is older, like she's an older lady. She doesn't have her parents. I don't think she has her parents. I think she has her siblings, but nothing more. So the four adults that she has, they could be her contractors because um, we have a mechanic, an engineer, and an outdoorsman. Then we have the three teenagers and two kids, and that one is good. I am gonna roll um, a die to see how many male, like what the ratio between male, female, and non-binary are going to be, because I like the idea that, you know, even in the time of the apocalypse, people will like we people are going to be with their families. Um, so let's see, who do I want here? Ooh, this is gonna be fun. So I'm gonna roll a d6, and we're going to figure out, um, out of those four adults, who's a guy, who's a female, like for biological purposes. Um, we'll figure out their nouns later as we play, because I like the idea that even in the time of apocalypse, there's still stuff like that. Odds are there, because it's a d4. Odds are going to be three of each. We'll see. Odds are male and the evens are female. So we'll see. So all four of the ladies are female. Well, no, we don't know that. I just rolled a 4. So we know that the first thing we're going to determine is how many women are in this group. And right now there is one woman. So that means 3 of them, the rest of them are men. I like the idea that the lady is going to be our other engineer. I like the fact that, you know, there should be more representation that we have a lady. You know what? No, our lady is going to be a mechanic. Yeah. So we have one lady, one woman, 3 men, and then for the teenagers, female. All 3 of the teens are 3 teens who are female, and the kids are guys. All of them are kids, and the kids are the 2 kids are boys. Okay, so the way I'm looking at this, because I like certain narratives that I can relate to, is that our female lady is going to be our mechanic. That's just how it's going to go. And then I'm going to roll for the 3 guys who has the other 2 jobs. We'll roll that one. So the second guy is our engineer, and the other guy is going to be our outdoorsman, which leaves one guy who doesn't have any real specialization. They're more of like general. Okay, so the way I think about this is we have one mechanic, 1 engineer, 1 outdoorsman. Then we have their 3 teenagers who are all who are all female. We have our 3 female teens and 2 male boys. Under the 2 male boy children. Youth. Okay. And these would be young adult. Teens and young adult. So our one mechanic, I feel like she is a single mom of one of the teenage girls. Or maybe she's a single mom of 2 teenage girls. So our mechanic, single mom, 2 teen girls. Okay. Our engineer has 1 of the boys. One child, male. aged 6. And he's engineer, single dad, one child, male, age 6. Our outdoorsman is going to be probably her fellow guy. He's also going to be a single dad because I like the idea of single dads for whatever reason. Single dad, they get one teen girl. One teen girl, one teen girl, one child, aged 9. Ooh, I'm creating this narrative already. So we have their teenagers all split up. We have our kids split up. We know we have a mechanic, we have an engineer, an outdoors woman, outdoors guy, and etc., etc., etc. And then the last one is general contractor, handyman. Probably like she was able to convince him to just stay. So he was that. Maybe he was like an intern. Yeah. Handyman, Isabella's intern. He's also a young adult. So we don't know their names yet. We're just generating our party, if you will. I also like the idea, like this is how I think. So we're gonna give them names. I'm gonna be extra. So here's the thing. You don't have to have kids. You can have, obviously it's your group of survivors, so you can make them all adults, etc., whatever you want. However you feel extra, give your other survivors names, backgrounds, and stats as well. So we've given them stats. We've given them a mechanic, we have an engineer, and we have an outdoorsman. We don't have a mechanic under the specializations for Isabella, but because we now have a mechanic, I'm going to add that. That's so funny to me. Not funny haha, but funny like, oh my. Well, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Back to this. We're gonna generate names because I like names. We're going to once again roll our D100 to kind of figure out who the people we're dealing with are. I have a common name table. So our lady's name is going to be 32. So we have Alexander, Elijah, Evelyn, James, Mason, Madison, Abigail, Logan, Ella, and Sophia. I'm going to roll a D10. Seven. So Logan. 7, 8, 9. Oh. So Abigail. We have our single mama. Her name is Abigail. That is cool. That is really cool. So our single mama's name is Abigail. Abigail. She's a mechanic. She's a single mom. She has 2 twin girls. Okay. And then we'll roll for the teen girls. So 97. So down at the bottom we have Liam, Lucas, Noah, Olivia, Stella, Theodore, Victoria, William, and Zachary. We'll see if I have a good name there. We have Noah. Excuse me. I found out that Noah is also can be used as a unisex name, so we're gonna go with Noah and Victoria. Noah and Victoria are the names of the teenagers. Noah, Victoria. Okay. We'll figure out the name for our engineer now. D100. 40 on the die. Okay. So Alexander, Penelope, Joseph, Scarlett. Scarlett's a great name. I know a lady by the name of Scarlett. They do dessert dragons. You should check them out. The name is Alexander. Nice name. I'm rolling in the A's. Okay. Alexander is our single dad with the one kid. Age 6. And we'll roll for their name. We'll just roll on the same table because I think the names are nice there. Ooh, 6. Alexander, Penelope, Joseph, Scarlett, Theodore, and Victor. It says Victoria again, but we'll change it to Victor. No, we'll name them Vincent. Yeah, we'll just name them Vincent. I know. I'm just gonna veto the name Victor because we've got a Victoria already. Let's name him Vincent. Vincent's a nice name. Okay, so we have Alexander, we have Abigail, and then we just need our other single dad. Single mom. We have our 2 teen girls, Noah and Victoria. 2 teens. Abigail's teens. Then we have Alexander, who is our engineer, single dad. Vincent is his child. Vincent. Six, Alexander's son. Okay. You know what would be fun if it was an older brother? Like, they don't all have to be a single dad. They could be a brother looking after their siblings. Let's do that for the next one, shall we? We'll see how that goes. So, we're going to be going under 69. So, 69. We have Henry, Luna, Matthew, Mia, Olivia, William, Amelia, Emily, Evelyn again. Evelyn shows up a couple of times, I think, on this list. Evelyn, Harper. Okay, so we're going to roll for the outdoorsman. And their name is going to be Henry. Henry and his siblings. You know what? That's cool. That's a cool concept. That's what we'll do. Henry is our outdoorsman. Henry is an outdoorsman, older brother. Eldest brother, looking after his siblings. Henry. And we're going to roll in the same chart because I like the idea. 9. Evelyn. Evelyn is his younger sister. Evelyn. Henry's teen sister. And we'll roll the die again. Same chart. Because I like the idea of it. Luca. We have Luna, so we'll make them Luca. I like that. Luca. Henry's youngest brother. Ooh, we have an array of survivors now. And then we'll roll for our intern. Our intern's name is going to be under 76. We'll roll a d10. Roll a 4. Our intern's name is Mary. You can call them Mary. I like that. Mary. I think they are they, them. Isabella's intern. They, them. This is our group of survivors. We don't know what everybody's connections are yet. All we know is we've got a mechanic, an engineer, and Isabella's intern. Cool. Very nice. Woohoo! This is fun already. Okay. So the next part of this is we're going to, now that we've generated our group of survivors, we've been extra enough to give them like jobs or professions and kind of made up their family stuff. We are now going to go back to the map we previously generated, our A12 by a B20 chart, and we're going to roll to see where their HQ is, and then we're going to begin a scenario, and we're actually going to figure out where these folks are, what time of day, like all those kinds of things, and we're going to build up the tale around these group of survivors in a completely different, messed up world. So we're going to get our D20. Oops. So this system, it's easy with this system to homebrew your own mechanics. So after this, we will be not only setting up where their temporary HQ is, but we're also going to be essentially describing, like what season they're in, those kinds of things, which will be very interesting, I think, when we get down to it. Right. Let's see here. What can I do? There we go. We'll use this as a circle, and we will create their temporary HQ. This is where Isabella's house is located. So we're gonna roll a 20-sided die. They were located in B19 down here. So down here, and then we're gonna roll a D12. 4. So B19 and 4. So let's see here. There's a 4. And this square right here is where we are located. I kind of want to put like a token on top of that. So let me see if I can find a good token to represent. If not, then I'll have to generate my own. Interesting, there is none. So we'll have to generate the token on our own. I'll just use this one, and we use the square. We're at B19, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is Isabella's house. It's located here. Yup. And this is our temp HQ. Montez temporary HQ. Okay. And we'll just attach it to this circle so that when I move one, So when I move the circle, it goes all the way through. Perfect. So our HQ is right down at the very bottom. I kind of want to know, before we begin the scenario, what season everybody is in. So I'm just going to pull up my notepad. And we're going to figure out on a D4 what the season is. That's going to be our little homebrew mechanic. So we'll take a D4 and determine what season it is. 1 being winter, 2 being fall, 3 being summer, and 4 is spring. We are starting our time in the spring season. So it's spring. Now, is it early spring or late spring? I think it should be early spring. There's still snow on the ground. We're going to use a D12 to determine what time of day it is. It is a 3. So about 3 in the morning. Who's up? And what is the most pressing item you and your crew needs? So we're going to look up the Legend of Resources, located on our handy dandy little chart that we made earlier. We're going to roll a D12. And 3, medical supplies. Medical supplies is the most pressing item on Isabella's list of things to find today. Things to find today. So the fiction of this is that Isabella, up to this point, has been able to live comfortably enough within her little house from the time the apocalypse started, but obviously she doesn't have like a lot of things. She was able to provide a safe haven for some of her contractors, some friends or neighbors within the area, as well as her intern. So we're going to roll onto a interesting mechanic where they are looking for medical supplies. The fiction I have it is that they are keenly aware that there's something going on within their community. It's very difficult for them to figure that information out, but they are doing their best to continue life as they know it. So they're going to have explored all around the neighborhood surrounding this area, and they are going to now branch out and explore. They need medical supplies because someone got injured recently. Someone got injured recently and used up the last bit of medical supplies that the community needs. Oof. Okay, so they are going to go on an adventure. I like this idea. Like they've decided they're going to go on to an adventure. They're going to roll on a chart for what the environmental features are of this new world. Around their house is a 49. That makes it a clandestine gathering of alchemists experimenting with forbidden substances. Okay. Well, that's interesting. We rolled a 49, so you discover a clandestine gathering of alchemists experimenting with forbidden experiments and forbidden subterfuge. Whew. So earlier in the apocalypse, there was a meeting of different biomedical kind of professionals, And then they realized, this stuff isn't going away. I think we're going to branch out and explore because we need those medical supplies with or without the approval of society's, you know, medical folks in order to survive. So we'll roll another d20 to determine where she goes. So I rolled a 1 and a 10. So on our little map here, Montez's crew went to A1 and A10. So over here, I can draw it. Okay, so A1 is right there. Okay, I'm getting really sleepy, so we're going to take a momentary break here. I'm going to get some refreshments and we will be right back. And we're back. So, we are generating the complex journey of this group of survivors who are in a post-apocalyptic world. And right now, what we know is we are looking for materials, essentially medical supplies. And one of the locations we found out was kind of further upwards in this kind of like B1 to B9. There was like a location where we could possibly find some medical supplies. We don't know how accurate that information was, but pre-apocalypse, medical supplies were located in this particular zone. Maybe it was because it was a clinic or something. Who knows? But things need to happen. They need clinic supplies because they need the medicine. They need medical supplies. They're running low, and no one wants to be sick because they're not sure. They don't even realize they've been transported into a different plane of existence within the region. They've just been basically coasting on what Isabella was able to kind of procure prior to the insanity. So they need medical supplies, and like in that region of B1 and 10, there was supposed to be, something at that location to aid in their, stuff. 1 second, I'm gonna just go on a mute momentarily. So what's going to happen next is that Isabella's going to be sending out a couple of her people to investigate the location they figure has the clinical supplies. It's 3 a.m. The light has not even shown up. It's not even it's dawn. It's not even dawn yet. And Isabella knows that time is of the essence. It's early spring. Anything could happen. Looking at her maps and all those kinds of things, she's going to kind of determine what kind of terrain is ahead of the group. And she kind of determines that, okay, up ahead it should be flat. I mean, it should really be flat sidewalk. Nothing that much should change that dramatically or drastically in a year. Perhaps there will be other survivors. These are the things that she's considering. And as she looks at her people, she knows she needs to send someone who is a survivalist and who is also an outdoorsman as well. She needs someone to be left in charge, of course, of the environment to make sure things are happening. So let's think about this. Okay, so she really doesn't have too much of a choice, but she needs to go out to explore the world and figure things out. And I think they have not necessarily a radio. I think they still have power to still speak to each other via text. Perhaps the magic has yet to really sink in and affect this realm because they've just been pulled into it. But they have to have some form or means of communication. Maybe they have those like walkie talkies. So before they even go out exploring, they have these walkie talkies or something like that. Like they have to have some sort of communication thing. And Isabella knows that this is one of those journeys like they have to, like there's no other choice. They have to do it. And they have to wait essentially until news comes back. I think what's going to happen is she's going to leave Abigail and Alexander in charge of her house. She trusts them enough after some time now to kind of look after things. And she's going to bring Henry and Mary with her so that at least the three of them, between the three of them, they can kind of figure out where things are. And she's preparing in these early wee hours in the morning. She's woken up very concerned about these medical supplies. She's woken up in the very wee hours to basically get all of the stuff that her team is going to need for this journey ahead. So they are going to go ahead and they're going to begin. I mean, time passes. She's got their packs with them. She's got their supplies. She's got her gear. I mean, they're survivors. Excuse me. She's an outdoors woman, and she's with someone who's also into the outdoors with her. So it's not like she doesn't have enough resources. She's got a number of resources. But she still doesn't know, right? She still doesn't know that she is in a precarious situation with with her crew because they don't know that they've been transported yet. All they know is that there's been signs of wear and tear, and the neighbors have been kind of keeping out of their way and not really coming out of their own houses, and so they don't know what is actually really out there. So what we're gonna do is we're going to roll to see what they encounter. They're going to go ahead and strike out. They're going to start seeking out shelters and scouting for new environments. They're going to try to figure out like where these medical supplies are, and so on and so forth. So how far, let's say they get to a certain area. I'm going to roll 2d20 for this. And the way this particular mechanic works, and this is the homebrew aspect of it, is because I don't have anything yet narratively written down to how to resolve like certain encounters and whatnot. We're gonna roll 2d20, which is something that I'm using on a regular basis now. Is just rolling 2d20 to determine certain things, and we're going to see if they can succeed as a small little party in getting out of the house to a safe enough area to locate, materials, goods, and things. I rolled a 12 on the first die and a 3 on the second die. So on a 12, they have a partial success. They face a little bit of a risk, as well as there's some serious consequences to what they have, because which makes things kind of like, okay, now I have to figure out what this impossible task or serious consequences are, because we don't know. I'm gonna just put down a token representing Isabella and her party. Right, striking forth. And how far did they get before they realize, something is going down? So we'll roll a B10 and a B10 and a B4. A 10 and a 4. Because that's the region that they're exploring. So they're at 10. So they made it to the 10, but they got sidetracked because they went on in a straight line. So what did they encounter? I'm going to roll another D100 to see what we come up with here. 30. Woo! So they managed to get to this point before they realize that they are basically getting they're being followed, they're being chased. And there is enough cause for them to be like, oh no, we're not supposed to be here. Oh dear goodness. So what's going to happen is they need to get out of there real quick. So because they need to get out of there fairly quickly, we're going to add a +2 bonus to come across some shelter, and also another +2 bonus to find a different location to forage, and so on and so forth. So we're going to roll 1d20 to see our success against, basically these creatures that are coming after us. We rolled a 2 + 4, which is a 6. So it's impossible. I think somebody got injured within their party. Somebody got injured, and they need to figure out a way to escape. I see where I need to have a mechanic, I think, for this playtest game, where there's a way to kind of settle moves when certain encounters happen. Because I don't have a move for that. I don't have anything that would help within this particular situation. There's specializations that they could use, like the outdoorsman, but then like if you roll a 2 on a d20, narratively speaking, we're going into a death spiral. So I think that helps me for this run of the game and playtesting some of the mechanics. Setting up the game was pretty easy. Obviously, I took my time because I was explaining it and I was being a little bit extra. But if you're planning on doing something like this for yourself, maybe spend as much time as you need to get the world organized and set up, however you'd like. But for now, we're gonna pause on Isabella and her group, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.